Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video on this not so nice and sunny day, but it's my birthday. So I've come out here in the full Newcastle kit attire for a little walk and a sit down to talk to you guys about Bruno Guimaraes. And it's looking likely that he will be receiving a new contract deal with Newcastle United this summer. As a birthday present, why don't you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button? Loads of you guys watch my videos every day, but haven't hit that big red button. It's free to do so. I won't tell you how old I am, but it's another year older. But I tell you what, it hasn't been a bad year. Got married, Newcastle got Champions League. We're pretty much on a par there. But no, seriously, it's been a great year. It's been a great year for the channel. It's been a good year for me. And yes, nice day. Come out, talk about Newcastle, talk about Bruno, and the fact that he looks likely to be the first Newcastle player this summer to receive a new contract. Loads of talk about players that we're potentially going to bring in, players that we're potentially going to let go of this summer window. There's also talk about players we want to keep this window. Quite a few rumours right now that Bruno is apparently in talks with the likes of Barcelona, Liverpool. Outlets actually reporting that Bruno's agent is in talks with Liverpool right now. Is his agent in talks with Liverpool because he wants to go there, or is his agent in talks with Liverpool because he wants to get Bruno a new deal with loads more money? Because that's the thing. In this world, you never say never. Is it possible that they've had a conversation? Is it possible that Bruno's agent is having a little bit of a dabble in there and try and make Newcastle give Bruno a new contract? Very possibly. Can I see Bruno leaving us this summer? Absolutely not. In terms of Liverpool, we are the team with Champions League. We are the team that he's taken to the Champions League. It would be very strange to get all the way there and then jump ship to another English team who doesn't have Champions League. And we can see how much he's loving his time here right now. He's set to get married very soon as well. Joe Linton is going to be his best man. It's clear to see he's loving life, and I really don't think any Newcastle fan expects him to leave. There's also links with Barcelona. Now that one's a little bit different. First of all, because Barcelona haven't got any money. So they don't know what money they'll be paying for Bruno. Having said that, they always do somehow find a way to manage it. But South American player linked to Barcelona, La Liga, that's something that you'd imagine might turn Bruno's head a little bit more, but not right now. Not after the season he's just had, which is why Newcastle seem very, very close, as reported by Fabrizio Romano and a whole host of other sources, that he will be signing a new deal with Newcastle. Now, Bruno is already thought to be one of the highest paid players at the club, if not the highest, on around 120 grand a week. Not too bad, is it? But you could say for a Champions League club that maybe it isn't quite as high as some other teams are paying. Bruno, 25 years old now, actually has 3 years left on his deal. So really, I don't think it's as much of... I think there will be an extension. I think it could move from 3 years to 4 years, or maybe even 5 years. Keep him all the way till he's 30. It holds a bit of protection for us, for teams that are coming in. And it's also likely going to give him a bit of a bumper in his pay packet. And we'll go through a few reasons why we are giving Bruno the contract. Number one, because he's mint. He's getting it because he's been a fantastic player for us this season. I think he's deserved the reward of a potential increase in pay. I think he's deserved the reward to kind of give back and show that the club's loyalty towards him as well. He came in at a time where no one really knew what was going to happen with Newcastle. We didn't know whether we were going to stay in the Premier League, never mind go on the next season and get Champions League. So Bruno took the bit of a jump, put a bit of faith in us, and I think us turning around, giving him an extension, giving him an increase in pay is kind of giving the faith back to him as well. And you could even go into the fact that it's not just been on the pitch that Bruno has been such a positive for this club, it's been off the pitch as well. Eddie Howe talks about the dynamic of the changing room and the players in there. Bruno is clearly a personality, he's clearly a happy guy, he brings a lot of fun and passion to the side. He's kind of brought a lot with him. So yeah, Reason 1 for giving Bruno a new contract is because he's class. Reason 2, touched on it a little bit before, is he is being linked away this summer window. And as much as I don't think it's going to happen, I think if he's having chats with anybody, it's because his agent's playing a little tune to see if that can maybe get this contract up, a price up a little bit. And you think, is that necessary? Probably not. I think the club will probably say, Bruno, how much do you want? Okay, here it is. I don't think these negotiations are really something to worry about with Bruno, but I suppose if the agent can get an extra 10, 20, 30 grand out of Newcastle a week because there's links or rumours to other clubs, then that's kind of where the world of football works, which isn't really the nicest thing to think about. You would hope that because Bruno seems very happy here, that they should be able to quite easily get a new contract done with an extension. And is his agent actually doing that, or is it just complete paper talk? I mean, often there isn't smoke without fire, but at the same time it does seem quite strange that after being so happy and elated of getting Champions League with Newcastle, that there is now these rumours. So unless people are just making it up for a bit of fun, or the agent is maybe catering to this a little bit because he's hoping to give Bruno his nice big payday. Either way, I think the contract's on its way. And I guess the final thing to mention on why Bruno will be getting a new deal is because things are changing at Newcastle. We spoke about this a little bit in the January. I mean, the talk of Bruno getting a new contract hasn't just been today. It's been spoken about a lot today in the media, but it's been going on for months and months, and a lot of it was maybe holding off a little bit because where were we going to finish? I'm sure that if Bruno finished Champions League, he would want more than if we had finished in Europa or Europa Conference. Now he's able to really go, by the way, not only did we get Champions League, not only supposedly do I have other clubs interested in me, and even if he did, the club could turn around and go, well, to be honest, Bruno, you've got 3 years left on your deal, we're not going to sell you anyway. So it doesn't really matter, but it's security for the club in that sense. But what I was going to say was, things are changing. There's loads of links to Maddison, Szoboszlai. You're talking about players like Joe Linton potentially getting a new deal. Trippier's been spoken about getting an extension. And I just think as we start to hopefully make the move up the league, as we've seen, make the move into European football and look to purchase players this summer window. What's James Maddison on? 150,000, 60, 160, 170,000. If we signed him tomorrow, straight away, that's 50, 60,000 more a week than our best player, Bruno, was last season. Or equivalently to Trippier, Joe Linton, Isak, Wilson, Maxi. So I think there is something to be said about maybe making a few internal changes so that when we are going out this summer window, it's more comparable to what the current players are playing rather than just constantly giving more and more money. Well, you've got to be really careful about that because you've got one player. Well, if he's getting more money, then so do I. And if he is, so am I. And if he isn't, so am I. And you can get into that. So I think we have to be careful, especially as we talk about FFP and how much money we've actually got to spend. They do need to do it carefully. But as I've said a million times in the last couple of weeks, now that we are getting into Champions League and we are looking at that Champions League player, those more talented players, they come with a bigger price tag and they come with bigger wages. We've kind of skipped a few years ahead. I think if we'd gone Europa Conference League, if we'd gone Europa League, we'd gone Champions League, those wages would have naturally rose. But because we've kind of taken that jump and the players are turning around and going, hang on, you're buying that player for 200 grand a week and I'm sat here on half of him despite being top goal scorer last season or whatever it may be. So it's interesting. But it's good to see that there's links there that Bruno will be getting his new contract soon. I think it's going to happen this summer. They've been talking about it since January. Loads of reports coming out that first of all this morning that he was getting linked to every club under the sun, mostly Liverpool and Barcelona. And then the reports this afternoon where Newcastle fight back with a new contract deal for Bruno. So things are kind of moving backwards and forwards. Is Bruno going to leave? Like, as I say never, but my God, I'll be very, very surprised at anyone who would seem so happy to the face, be getting Champions League football, and then go, actually, no, I'm going to go play for somebody who didn't get Champions League football. That'll be very, very strange. The Barcelona one, the Real Madrid links, they're a bit different. South American player going to play in La Liga. But I think even Bruno knows that right now he's at a very good spot. maybe 2 or 3 years' time. But then that's why you look at us signing him on a 5-year deal, because in 2 or 3 years' time, we can still take that 100 million for him. Let me know your thoughts on Bruno. Let me know your thoughts on the links away. Is it right that we are giving him a new deal? Or do you think we should just go, you know what it is, Bruno? You've got 3 years left. We don't actually have to give you a new deal because we're not going to sell you anyway. Then that's top and bottom of it. He can't go because we wouldn't let him. But you let me know your thoughts on that down below. Thank you for watching, guys. As always, drop a like, subscribe if you are new. As I said, hit that big red subscribe button. Out for tea later for the big B day. So hopefully that's good fun. And yes, loads of videos to come as always. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.